it may feel like, okay, so this is what I saw. I saw like war in people's heads, okay? It may feel like Armageddon in your mind and in your heart with the changes that are coming, okay? The war that's going to happen is within you. And if you become frustrated and um, if you focus on the dark part of the war that's going on within you, rather than transforming the energies within you in love, if you start lashing out and being mean, taking on things or making judgments or out on the streets trying to cause disruption, you're going down the path that's no better than some of the people who have already done that. And I talked about that in the last video as well. Stay in your heart, stay in your light. If something comes up in you and you start feeling like, because you don't like what's going on outside in the world, turn off your TV. Don't pay attention to what's going on out there, okay? Stay in your light. Stay in your light, stay in your heart, follow your heart, be in love, okay? Be in love. Call in your I am presence. Call forward your I am presence. Say, now call forth my I am presence. When you do that, comes forward. And remember, this is one thing I said to a couple of my clients this week. A couple of them were having some really tough times, okay? So I said, do what Jesus, Mary Magdalene, or Mother Mary would have done, okay? If something happens and you're like getting angry about it, where you want to take revenge or you have vengeance, focus on your heart and say, okay, what would the Divine Mother have done? What would Mary Magdalene have done? What would Christ have done? Remember, you're the Christed child. You are a Christed child, okay? You're becoming Christed in this life. We are all children of God. We are all Christs, okay? What would he or she or her have done? And remember, Mary Magdalene, let go of the old stories of her. She was never a whore. She was Jesus's wife, okay? There was never anything bad about her, neither of them. Their relationship, they were betrothed very young age. I've seen everything. I've received everything. I remember memories of all of the stuff that I went through as that life, and others have gone through that as well. So just when I talk about her, don't place her in the old stories, because those are all false by the patriarchal control system, okay? So what would they have done? Because they were light beings, they all ascended, they all made choices, okay, and took action from here. They didn't react, okay? What do you choose? You know, and be mindful of what you're going to choose to do. And remember to do what's for your highest greatest good, but also for the highest and greatest good of serving Gaia and humanity. All right? Don't always make it about yourself. Remember, if you make a decision, you're affecting everyone on the planet, because we are everyone. And that's the one thing I talked about in that video where William and I took the 3 days together, where we took 3 days off and unplugged from everything and everyone. And we were alone. We weren't near each other. No contact with people, and we felt each other so strongly that everything that him or I chose to do affected us so much. We can feel it so much. And what that was showing us is, remember that everything that you choose to do as an individual affects every other person on this planet, because we're all one and we're all one energy. That's what creates the collective consciousness. So if more people are choosing to be in the light and be in love and be in joy and be in bliss, what happens? We create that. That's why this is also important. That's why the light workers that have been working so hard, you know, for this change to come, we're still working so hard. You know, all of us that are way shores are here telling you guys, okay, this is what we've got to do next. Because we know what can happen. We know what the outcome can be. It's just a matter of everyone moving in their hearts and getting out of the ego, okay? Letting go of control. The other thing I have is, what is your personal passion? What is your personal desire? There's going to be stuff coming up where these changes, you're going to feel these changes that are coming up in you, and you're going to be like, I don't know if I like to do this anymore. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. You need to be precise about what you want. You need to make sure you wish wisely. This is a big creation weekend as well. When you're out on that crystalline grid, create what you want in the light, in love, for Gaia, for humanity, and for yourself. If you want abundance, create it for everyone. Don't do it for just you, because then that's the selfish. That's the service to self. On my Patreon last weekend, I think it was last weekend, I had a goddess day where I was teaching crystal gridding and teaching the girls how to create a grid, a universal grid, so that whatever you place with your intention in, it was for everyone, not just for yourself. And when you do that, it helps the collective. Okay, so if there's a 2 billion people out there making crystal grids and placing the intention of there for divine love, one person is like 100. Okay, and then the crystal grid goes massive, so it's like 100,000, even more. It just expands all over. So be mindful of what you're thinking, be mindful of what you're wishing for. Make sure to always include everyone, because we are all one. We are one love, we are one life, we are one heart, we are one soul. Okay? Okay. I have also got the energy and the thing of don't back down with your spiritual beliefs. Don't back down with what your spiritual beliefs are. But don't fight another light worker. Okay? Allow people to have their stuff, but don't back down to what's maybe going on out there. Don't let people take you over. Don't let others try and control you. Don't let others manipulate your mind. Don't let that dark agenda manipulate you and saying, you have to do this, make this better, because half the time that dark agenda is doing it for their own service to self and for greed. Okay, a lot of that stuff that's going on out there, the fighting to have you chipped, the fighting to have vaccines, that kind of stuff, is all for greed. I am not joking. When you go into seeing who's going to get a tax break because they give millions of dollars for that kind of stuff, okay, there's a deep agenda behind it that's been prepared, and this has all been planned. You'll find documents. They're all over YouTube. They're all over. Things signed by those same people that are pushing it. They put this into motion years ago, and now it's created. So it's time for us to stop it. As lightworkers, it's time for us to stop this. So stand in your power, stand in your beliefs, okay? Stand in your knowing. And again, I always say this, use discernment with these people. Those are the false prophets. I talked about this in 2016. I said they're coming. They're here now. They're all over the place, okay? These big people, they just want to keep everything going the way it is. They're the false prophets. Be very careful. There's also some other people popping up on YouTube, on Facebook, and other stuff that are, they're saying they're channeling, but they're not really channeling. I checked a couple people, and they're actually taking parts and pieces of other people's stuff. One person was actually taking some of my stuff because they were saying it exactly how I worded it, and I was like, that's mine. It's stuff that I wrote, and I was like, whoa. I didn't confront them because I don't want to deal with that, but then I was like, okay, I can't judge this, I have to be neutral to it. But then they put other stuff in after the stuff I said, which didn't jive with it, and it was like backflipped. It was just really strange. So I was like, be careful, use discernment, okay? If somebody makes you feel iffy or not so right, it doesn't resonate, step away, use discernment, okay? Step into your own inner knowledge. It's really, really important. That deep inner wisdom is opening this weekend. That ancient wisdom is coming to light. Okay, divine feminine, bringing divine love. There's this to me, this Stargate again is all about divine love. It's these divine feminine energies again. It's they're saying the word archaic. There's something archaic that's coming. They just gave me the word Glastonbury. They're saying Glastonbury will shift. Something in Glastonbury is going to happen. Glastonbury will shift. Something has to leave there. So there's something in Glastonbury that has to leave. I'm just receiving this right now, so I don't know what this is. Some kind of hold over Glastonbury has to leave. Same with United States, they're saying. Something in the United States has to shift. All right, I'm not sure what this is. I'm going to go into this later. I'm going to use my crystals and see what I get with this, but this is just coming up. This is new. It's just popping in right now. Something in the United States and something in Glastonbury, something in England really big is going to be shifting, something lifting. And it's due to the power of the people, they just said. Okay? It's due to the power of the people in their hearts. Okay. So if any of you guys live in Glastonbury, or in the area, or in England anywhere, because I'm seeing this big lift over. It looks like, I'm going to tell you what they're showing me. Looks like a black witchy energy, but like not like definitely not feminine. It's like black witchy energy, but it's like masculine witchy. Oh, like sorcery, like masculine sorcery energy. So that's what I'm seeing. Okay. All right, and this is something. This is stuff that's very, 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 very old. That's what they're giving me. Very, very ancient, archaic. They just said again, archaic. Well, that's very interesting. That just popped up in the session in this video. Okay, stay focused on your creativity and the heart for your highest and greatest good for the grid. I've already talked about that. Merlin again, as I said, it keeps coming in. Magic. There's going to be some healing that's going to be from deep inner wounding that's coming in. But Merlin's going to be assisting with this for some reason. Some kind of energy with Merlin is going to be assisting with that. So know that that's happening. I also got a message for twin flames. Twin flames, twin rays. Departures, there will be departures happening and reunions. So I have departure and reunion energy. The departing in the void and allowing one to no longer sacrifice their heart for ego decisions. Okay. Departing in the void and allowing one to no longer sacrifice their heart for ego decisions. That's the twin flame, twin ray energy, okay? So if you're a twin flame, twin ray, and you're going through something, re-listen to that again, write it down, and see how that makes you feel when you read that, okay? And just remember that your twin is a mirror. So whatever you're receiving from them that you don't like, they're showing you the deepest parts of you, shadow side, shadow pieces, inner wounding, things that you need to heal in yourself. Okay? I talked about in the beginning just about for everyone, but that's that. So the next thing I have is many may feel deep emotions to transform, and others will have to allow themselves to feel emotions for the first time. That's very interesting. I was just doing automatic writing when I was getting that information. So if you have not allowed yourself to feel emotions because you've shut that down through your life for whatever circumstance, many times children that have been abused or neglected or abandoned in life, or parents didn't show emotions or are caring or nurturing or love. This deep like inner energy, this inner cleansing, this shift and changing that's going to happening is going to force people to have to take, oh, they're putting my hands on my heart, to feel love. It's going to be a deep transforming energy to feel love. There's a lot of divine feminine energy coming in again this weekend with this Stargate. And it's been happening very powerfully since January, okay? And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about on the webinar is my trip in through the dimensions to Uluru. And I hold a sacred key that took me inside Uluru's rock. And I'm going to be revealing the stuff that I saw in there and the persons that I've talked to in there. I'm going to be revealing a lot of stuff that on there that I haven't made public yet. So I'm going to be revealing it in this webinar. But one of the things is about Uluru and who's inside there and what they said to me. So that's going to be for all of you to understand and work with. The next thing I have is some feel opposite. Okay, this is about your things. So you're going to have a lot of emotions coming up. Some are going to feel triggered. Some are going to feel, they're going to have that first time of feeling love, real divine love. And some are going to just feel the crazy emotions. So if you have that, remember what I said, move into your heart and don't take it out on someone else, okay? But some are going to be, this has to go with like eating and stuff. Now, a month or so ago, like for 6 weeks, I was not hungry at all. All I was doing was water and smoothies. Now all of a sudden, you know, we have this influx of light that's shifting and changing our cellular structure. And I talked about that in the Golden Fleece webinar, and I've talked about that. You can check all of my writings on Facebook, Instagram. I've even been posting them in the YouTube channel. But read them, because that cellular structure, we are changing at that cellular level. And I am seeing all these changes come in. I'm seeing these pastel geometric shapes coming in that flare off the, it's a geometric shape and it flares off pastel colors all around it, like rays of sun, but it's pastel. But the universe is behind it, so it's coming in. And I'm seeing these, and this is the shift and changes in the energy that's happening in us in the crystalline process. And like if you're outside and you see that rainbow color, those crystals in you, like very rainbowy, we're being transformed so much at the cellular level. The other thing I notice is like I can really, like in the sun, really look gold. So that's the golden race DNA codes that I activated in the last webinar as well. So if you haven't, by the way, if you have not heard of that one or done that one, it's still available to purchase, and it's really powerful. So you can get that one as well. So some people are going to be feeling really, really hungry. If you're hungry, if the body's hungry, the cells need food. But make sure what you choose to eat is for your highest good. It's for your best outcome. Choose live foods. If you can eat raw organic food, eat it. If you rather cook it, that's okay. But if you're gonna if you're gonna cook your vegetables, only saute them for like 1 or 2 minutes real quick. You don't want to take the nutrients out of it. You don't want to kill everything. It's okay to have rice, and try and stay away from gluten, because gluten is very hybrid. There's so much yuck in it. You just don't want to have that in your body. Our body was not meant to have that kind of stuff. If you need protein, have protein. There's antibiotic-free raised chicken, and there's fish out there that it's okay to eat them. Those animals actually knew they came here to feed humans, so it's okay for those. I don't eat any meat, but that's my personal choice. You can choose whatever you want, okay? So if your body needs protein, extra protein, you're not getting it from like pea protein or broccoli or stuff like that. If that's not enough for you, then absolutely choose those foods. So some people are going to be famished this time, so please go ahead and eat. And then I already talked about the rabbit hole, because they kept showing me journeys into the rabbit hole. Some people are going into the rabbit hole. So just know that that's going to be having some feel. And then the other thing I have is abundance, okay? My last video, I talked about what my guides showed me. And I want to talk about this a little more, because some people, they were very negative with their comments on the YouTube. But I've been getting emails and messages from people since January saying, this is it. I know we're going to have $1 million in our bank account at the end of this month. And I know that would be in January. And my guides would say, no. And then I have people like, February or weeks later, we heard that, so-and-so said that we're going to have all this abundance and the government's going to be giving us, because we're not being traded on the stock market anymore. So by April 1st, we're going to have $5 million. We're going to have what we're worth on the stock market in our bank accounts, blah, blah, blah. And my guide said, no. And I'm like, okay. I don't tune in and focus on abundance, but abundance can be created, again, on the New Earth Crystalline Grid. If that's what you want to do, create it for everyone, not just for yourself. However, there is a global reset going on. The global reset is going on within you. It's going on within everyone on this planet, okay? And when everyone could accept the global reset, then everything's going to change. Now, one thing my guide said to me a couple weeks ago was, if everyone had overnight $1 million put in their bank account, what's the first thing people are going to do? And I was like, oh. And so I asked that question to a few other people that are very awake, okay, very aware. And actually one of them is working on global reset stuff. They all said the same thing. You're going to want to spend it. So what happens? You put yourself, it's right back in that circle again. It's right back in that loop. And so what they showed me, what my guide to show me, what the pieces are giving me is how everything's being reset a little bit at a time. They're giving you a little bit here, a little bit there. They're going to drop interest rates for all this. They're going to drop this. They're going to drop this because they have to, okay, to change things. And that's how it started. Now, those interest rate things dropping and stuff like that, it's already started. When is the last time we had that time when everybody's houses were losing their houses and stuff, like 2008, 2009 maybe? Because I know I moved at that time from a different state, and people's homes were, so many were in foreclosure. We had so many to choose from at that time. That's when the global reset started, they told me. They took me back to that and they said, it started here. Okay, so all these little shifts and changes are being, people are getting refunded right now with money because of the virus from insurance companies, from people are getting help with apartment rentals, people are getting help with their mortgage right now. Things are being shifted and changes slowly, a little at a time. People are getting money from the government to help them during this time. Everything's changing. It's a little at a time, because what's going to happen is it has to be a complete reset, which means all those in political offices that have been working in that dark energy push have got to say bye-bye. And so if you want this to work, you have to have the new wave of the politicians that are in the light that come in to be able to do this work. They've been behind the scenes for years. I wrote about this with Archangel Michael in 2016. He said people were in positions in all the political places, in all the banking systems, in all the corporations that are of the light, and they were waiting for the bell to ring. And they knew when the bell rang, it was time for them to take their positions. It was time for them to start doing what they are here to do. So until then, they had to have a mask on and play the game. All right. Now it's time for all masks off. I said this last time, all masks off. All right. Because when the mask comes off, you can be in your truth. And that's what everyone is being pushed to do. You're being pushed to take your mask off. You're being pushed to be the real you. You're being pushed to go in your heart. You're being pushed to be in love. You're being pushed to find your God, Goddess self. Your I am presence, who you are. Because that's who you are. You are not that false identity created ego that was created from the time you were growing up to now. You are not that. And the dismantling of that is occurring within you. And as that occurs within you, the dismantling of everything on our earth that has to happen, that is no longer work, is happening as well. Because you helped create it. All of us did. Every lifetime we came here, we helped create those things, and now we're taking them down. It's like a big, they're showing me like a big Lego building. Like you built these things with Legos. Now somebody's just like knocking all the Legos off. It's time to start over. So this reset that's happening, when is the money coming? When everyone can accept that the global reset has to happen and that everything has to shift. Okay? So when you can go into the consciousness of being love, and when you can go in the consciousness of creating for all, not just yourself, this is not service to self, this is to create for all persons upon this planet, okay? That's when the shift will take place. So can you do that this weekend? Can you get on that grid when we have this huge, huge Stargate coming in? Can you get on that grid when we have this summer solstice? Can you get out there when we have this ring of fire of change that's here? If you want it to be positive and you want it to be in the light and you want to take back what's rightfully yours and what's rightfully Gaia's, be the light. Be in your heart and be love. Okay. That's all I have. I'm going to give you some activations. And then I'm going to go. Te kira kotora sampapui na makita aya a. Te ona call you. Manyai. Emma kore koto kuya na karanta. Si kata kata kopot kuro na mani. Ateke. Na ako utukuru shushua. Anananyai. 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 My hands are on fire. Kianda krasukuturu pokuri katana shashishini krianto sususu hana kurne kriana nenenenenenei hinanya no 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 no. Oh mama yana kona tanamia. Untaganama. You are blessed in the highest love and the highest light. See yourselves as we see you. As one. Akinta, Makuria, Akaya, Aya. Eternal love, eternal light, eternal life. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you to everyone who's been following me for the last 5-6 years. That's helped me, and I'm going to say that's helped me and encouraged me along the way to keep going, because it really does make a difference when people believe in you and they give you that little push to keep going because you're helping them. Thank you for everyone who's been sending emails and messages and writing thank you, Keleena. I've had people saying you've saved my life. I was going to kill myself until I started listening to your videos. So I gave, what happened is with the powers that work through me, it gave people hope and faith again. All right. So I will continue to do what I do. Again, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. And I'm going to say this one more time. If you don't like what people say, don't leave negative comments, because it only shows where you are. Take a look at yourself in the mirror. And the more you do that, you can move into your heart and find self-love, because that is one of the most important things in your process to begin with. Ikiana krosuto atura maya aki. Tayamukoya ikia aya. All right. I love you. Thank you. I know we're going to see a lot of you on tomorrow's webinar. And that again is at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, USA. So it's at 9 a.m. for the Pacific Coast. And I'm just going to show you the picture really quick that I created this morning. I just want to share this with you. This, and it's not the very, it looks much better on the actual picture, but this is a divine trinity, and very, very important that we all step into our own divine trinity, and focus on the love and the light. The Remember Your Roots webinar is tomorrow, and it's Ancient Wisdom, the Mother Made in the Core, that is awakening. It's like, it's a big piece of the Divine Mothers that is happening. That's another picture that I created. Go and check that thing out. It's got the Trinity. I've been seeing Trinity since January. I see it in the moon all the time. I see it everywhere. And just yesterday I saw it in the sun. And I was like, whoa, here we go. So check that out. There's a lot of symbolism in that picture with the Remember Your Roots webinar. It's very important. If you look at it, you're going to get actual activations from it. There's a lot of Syrian work coming in this weekend. We have a lot of that Syrian energy. I'm feeling them. They've been coming in, and I've been seeing them lining up for days. I've got a lot of ships that have been out here as well. And Lemurian, I'm going to have a lot of Lemurian activations for Remembering Your Roots as well. And that with Lemurian, Pleiadian, Uluru, Mount Shasta. So here we go, guys. I hope to see you soon. I love you. I am placing this video out for everyone this time, not just for my patrons, because it's so important, what's coming this weekend. And please stay in your hearts. please, I just want to say, follow your heart and be in love, and really, really follow your own truth. Use your inner wisdom, okay? And don't allow others that are of a negative agenda to influence you and pull you in that direction. And do not fall in the trap of fear, all right? I love you.